Hi Charlie, welcome to the 59th day of my video polling experiment where I break down and analyze the LinkedIn poll that I posted last week and that closed this morning. Now, as almost everyone knows, this month of March is the month for March Madness basketball. I admit that I've never been one to follow basketball all that closely. A few friends sent me the, brackets, where you can pick your teams and the teams that you think will win and sort of project who you think the ultimate champion is going to be. But I declined to participate because that's really not my thing, and I can't claim that I know literally anything about any of these teams or the differences in their performance or the kinds of players they have, so I'm going to sit this one out. But anyway, last week I asked the poll question, do you participate in March Madness basketball? Now, because it was March and because it's basketball season, this poll got 122 votes, which is well above my average of 80 to 85 votes per poll, and this is a top-tier performing poll, which I consider to be any poll that gets over 100 votes. So there were 4 answer choices that I provided: yes, no, sometimes, and no idea what that is. For the people who maybe didn't grow up in the United States and they're not entirely familiar with what March Madness basketball is, I still wanted to give them an opportunity to participate and not have to pretend that they knew more than they actually did. So anyway, here's how the distribution ended up breaking down. 32% of my voters said that yes, they participate in March Madness basketball. They fill out the brackets, they watch the games, they are relatively well informed about the players and the team performance. 49% said no, they don't participate in March Madness basketball. I admittedly was one of them. While I might occasionally catch a glimpse of one of the games, I can't claim that I have a particular affinity for one team over the others. Well, I guess maybe the Pacers because I'm from Indiana, but I'm not necessarily a diehard fan of the Pacers, and I just don't have that much emotional investment into this tournament, nor do I spend a lot of time watching these games or learning about the players or the sport. Anyway, 15% of my voters said that they sometimes participate in March Madness basketball. That can literally be defined however anyone wants to define it, whether it means just watching a couple of games, maybe filling out 1 or 2 brackets. But anyway, these are people who dabble in March Madness, but they wouldn't consider themselves diehard fans of it. And 4% of my voters did say that they had no idea what that is, so I'm glad I put that answer choice just to make sure that I was including the entire spectrum of opinions, including non-opinions because of lack of familiarity. Anyway, on to some statistics about March Madness. March Madness brought the NCAA $1.3 billion in revenue in 2024. College basketball's highest-paid coach, Bill Self for Kansas, earns $9.6 million per year. A D1 men's athlete basketball scholarship is worth about $71,400 per year. However, the average NBA rookie earns $1.4 million annually. That's 52 times more than the average D1 men's athlete basketball scholarship. And this raises the question of whether these college men's basketball athletes who bring in so much money for their colleges by playing in these college tournaments should be compensated reasonably for their efforts and the revenue generation that they give to the universities they're affiliated with. But at the same time, it could also raise the question that these are technically supposed to be students who are, attending class and attempting to develop a marketable professional skill. Anyway, it's a debate that I'm not especially familiar with, but it's just something interesting to think about, that you get paid significantly more in the NBA than you do as a D1 men's basketball athlete in college. Anyway, the University of Ohio's basketball program is worth an astonishing $251.6 million. This program generates $24 million in annual revenue on average. The average American worker spends 6 hours watching March Madness. I am significantly below that average. Maybe I'll watch half an hour of it throughout the multiple months. And 25% of Americans are willing to skip work to watch March Madness, which just goes to show you how impactful these games are for at least a certain subset of Americans. I, unfortunately, do not feel inclined to skip work to watch any sporting event, to be completely honest. But, good for the people who do that, I suppose. Live your life, do your thing, I guess. So anyway, Charlie, thank you for listening to my spiel about March Madness basketball, and before I go, I will show you the poll as it appears on LinkedIn, just to prove that I'm not making these statistics up. Here's the poll as it appears on LinkedIn. As you can see, it got 122 votes. You can see it in the bottom left corner. A no was the most popular answer choice with almost a majority of the votes, but not quite, 49%. It just goes to show that maybe my voting base is perhaps not the most inclined to watch or participate in sports, which is perfectly fine. You know, these are established professionals who probably consider LinkedIn to be their social media platform if they've been voting regularly on my polls. But anyway, I respect that. I'm glad that everyone is sharing their opinion. I'm glad that there's this variety of opinions for every single poll, because that makes it far more interesting to kind of analyze what's going on and why the distribution might have turned out the way it did. Anyway, Charlie, thank you again for listening to my rants about various trending topics for the past almost 60 days. And stay tuned tomorrow for my 60th polling analysis. I can't believe I've been doing it for so long. I am eagerly anticipating getting to 100 of these video poll analysis. And thank you, Charlie, for being so supportive throughout this entire process, even if we've had plenty of difficulties along the way. Anyway, Charlie, have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow.